I thought I knew every room in our home until the night I found the one he kept locked. Inside, it wasn't just secrets, it was a different life and another woman. My name is Alana, and this is how I uncovered my husband's betrayal, walked away, and built something stronger from the wreckage. Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin. My name is Alana Drew, and for 8 years, I believed I was married to the most loyal man on earth, Julian, a software engineer. Quiet, calm, routine to the core. We had the kind of marriage that looked perfect from the outside. Dinners at 7, Netflix by 9, and Sunday brunch like clockwork. Until one night, I woke up at 2:17 a.m. and realized Julian wasn't in bed. At first, I brushed it off. Bathroom, maybe, but 5 minutes passed, then 10. I got up and walked through the dark house barefoot, the hallway chilled and quiet. And then I saw it, the faint glow of light leaking from the basement door. It was always locked. Always. I'd never questioned it before. Julian said it was his work zone, but something inside me twisted that night. I crept down the stairs silently. When I reached the door, I pressed my ear against it and heard laughter. A woman's laughter. I froze. I wanted to believe it was a podcast, a video. But then I heard his voice, Julian's voice. Soft, intimate, laughing back. My hands shook as I grabbed the spare key. I opened the door quietly. What I saw hit me like a punch to the chest. There he was, sitting across from a woman, real, living, and beautiful. A wine glass in her hand, her heels kicked off like she'd made herself at home. The room looked nothing like I imagined. Candles, a couch, a minibar. It was like another life. Under our house. They both looked up. Julian paled. Alana? I didn't speak. Couldn't. My breath left my body in shards. Who is she? I asked the woman. She stood slowly, smoothing her dress. His wife, apparently. Julian's voice cracked. Alana, it's not what it looks like. The woman scoffed. Please, we've been seeing each other for a year. You said you were separated. I blinked. My knees buckled, and I caught the railing. A year? The room spun. I can explain, Julian said, moving toward me. I backed away. Don't. Not another word. I ran. I grabbed my phone, my purse, and drove, barefoot in my pajamas, straight to my sister's house. The next days were a blur. Tears, rage, regret. Julian begged, called, showed up, swore it was a mistake, a moment, a lie gone too far. But the truth was bigger than just the affair. It was the fact that he'd built a secret life just under my feet. That wasn't a mistake. That was betrayal crafted by time and intention. I filed for divorce, and in the months that followed, I started over, moved cities, changed my name, took up painting, something I'd always loved but never had time for. And I built something too, not a secret, a life, a new one that belonged entirely to me. The morning after I left, I woke up on my sister Ava's couch, wrapped in a fleece blanket that smelled like cinnamon and lavender. My head pounded, but it wasn't from alcohol. It was the ache of betrayal. Every breath I took felt sharp, like my lungs had forgotten how to expand without pain. Ava handed me coffee without a word. That's the thing about sisters. They know when silence says more than questions. By noon, Julian had called 18 times. I blocked him, but that didn't stop him from showing up. That evening, I heard the knock, firm, familiar. I peeked through the blinds. There he was, same brown jacket, same pleading eyes. Don't, Ava said firmly. You owe him nothing. I just need answers, I whispered. She sighed, gave me that reluctant nod, and left the room. I opened the door but didn't step aside. Julian looked wrecked. Hair tousled, bags under his eyes like he hadn't slept. For a second, my heart ached for the man I used to love. Then I remembered the secret basement, the candles, the other woman. I didn't plan for it to happen, he said. I crossed my arms. That's how you start? Not even an apology first? He shifted. I'm sorry, Alana, I swear. It was never supposed to go that far. At first, it was just a distraction. Work was stressful. We started talking after a late project. A distraction? I spat. You built an entire room to hide her in. Do you hear yourself? His eyes welled. I didn't love her. That made me laugh. A sharp, bitter sound. But you respected her enough to give her wine and candles and late night conversations. What did I get? Leftovers and silence? He flinched. It wasn't like that. Yes, it was. And you didn't just cheat on me, Julian. You made me feel stupid. You made me feel invisible. He stepped forward. Let me fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll shut it all down. I'll move out, whatever you need. I need you to stop pretending this is just a bad decision, I said, voice trembling. It was a double life, one you chose every single day. He didn't answer, and that silence was all I needed. I closed the door. 2 weeks later, I officially filed for divorce. Word spread quickly. Friends texted things like, I had no idea, or are you okay? The truth was, I wasn't. I was drowning. But I'd also found something unexpected in the wreckage: freedom. I started painting again. I hadn't touched a brush in years. It started small: strokes of anger, splashes of grief. But the more I painted, the more I released. One night, I painted a woman standing in the rain. No umbrella, no coat, just letting it all fall. It was me. And somehow, I felt stronger. 3 months later, Julian emailed me. Her name was Celine. She left. Said she didn't sign up for a man who lied to 2 women. I'm alone now. I deserve that. I hope you're okay, Alana. Truly. I stared at the message for a long time. Not out of pity, not out of longing, just closure. I never replied. I didn't need to. I was living in a new apartment. Small, sunlit, with splashes of color and unfinished canvases scattered across the walls. I started hosting painting classes for women like me. Quiet, broken women relearning how to take up space again. And for the first time in a long time, I laughed. Not the polite kind, not the one to fill silence. A real, belly-deep laugh. Because I hadn't just survived Julian's betrayal, I'd rediscovered myself in the ashes. It had been nearly 6 months since I walked out of that house. 6 months of healing, of therapy, of painting women with wild eyes and strong backs. 6 months of learning how to eat alone and smile without guilt. I didn't think much about Julian anymore, not really. I'd learned to keep the past in a room I no longer visited. Until one Thursday afternoon. I was packing up after a painting class when I saw him, Julian, standing by the studio entrance. Clean shaven, thinner, older somehow. He held something in his hands. 5 minutes, he said. Just 5. I almost told him no, but something in his eyes, maybe exhaustion, maybe sincerity, made me nod. He stepped in and handed me a worn leather-bound journal. I wrote this after you left, he said quietly. Every day. Therapy made me do it at first, but then I kept writing about what I did, why I did it, who I became. I didn't touch the journal. I'm not here to beg, he added. I'm not stupid enough to think I can win you back. I just need you to know. I see it now. I see what I destroyed. I crossed my arms. You had everything, and you gave it away for a woman in a secret room. I know, he whispered, voice cracking. That room is empty now. I had it sealed. I couldn't walk by it without remembering your face. I finally looked him in the eye. So why are you really here? He hesitated, then, because I had to say thank you. My brow furrowed. I lost you, but it forced me to confront the worst parts of myself. I'm a better man now. Not for anyone else. Just for me. You gave me that. Even when you left, you saved me. I didn't know what to say, so I said nothing. He smiled gently. I know you won't read the journal. That's okay. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. And I'm proud of who you've become. You're incredible, Alana. He turned to go. No drama. No tears. Just a quiet exit. the kind that feels like a door closing softly. And for the first time, I didn't feel pain when I watched him walk away, just peace. A year later, I stood in my own gallery, surrounded by a crowd of women, laughter, wine, and paintings filled with color and scars and strength. I spotted a new piece on the wall, a canvas of a woman standing before two doors, one broken, one glowing. A journalist asked, "What does this piece mean?" I smiled. It's about choosing yourself, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. The gallery was nearly empty now. The laughter had faded, the wine glasses cleared. My heels clicked softly against the polished floor as I walked among the portraits. Each one told a story of survival, of pain transmuted into power. But one canvas stood apart. It was new, unfinished, a woman standing at a threshold, light spilling from behind her. Her face turned mid-step, caught between walking away and looking back. It was the only painting in the room that still made my chest tighten. I wasn't sure if I was done with it, or if it was done with me. The door buzzed behind me. I turned, half expecting Julian, some part of me still waiting for him in the quietest corners. But it wasn't him. It was Elise, the woman from the room, the woman he'd betrayed me with. She looked different. Shorter hair, softer eyes. She walked in hesitantly, holding a tiny envelope. "I saw your feature in the paper," she said, voice calm, almost reverent. "I didn't come to cause trouble." I didn't move. I didn't invite her in. But I didn't tell her to leave either. She held out the envelope. "It's not an apology, just something you should see." I took it with a steady hand. She lingered. "For what it's worth, I left him too, 2 months after you did. I realized I wasn't the one he wanted. I was just the distraction he used to avoid fixing himself." I gave a single nod. It was all she deserved. She left quietly. I waited until the door closed before opening the envelope. Inside was a photograph, a Polaroid. Me, Julian, and Elise from some distant company retreat. I didn't even remember the moment, but scribbled on the back in Julian's handwriting were the words, "I ruined everything for something that was never real. She was real. She was home." I exhaled slowly, not in pain, but in finality. That night, I returned to the unfinished canvas. And for the first time, I didn't hesitate. I picked up my brush and painted her stepping fully into the light. Head high, eyes forward, the broken door behind her fading into shadow. No more in between. She was no longer choosing. She had already chosen. 6 months later, my gallery had gone viral. Women from all over wrote letters, sharing their stories of betrayal, resilience, and rediscovery. I started a workshop, Canvas of Closure, a space for healing through art. Julian sent no more journals. Elise never returned. And that was okay, because the story wasn't about them anymore. It was about me, Alana, a woman who stepped out of the room, out of the pain, and into herself. She walked away from betrayal and into her own power. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more unforgettable stories like this. Thank you, my amazing subscribers. Wow, what a journey. If you've made it to the end of this story, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Your support means everything to me. Every time you watch, like, and comment, you're helping keep this channel alive and growing. And trust me, the best is yet to come. I see all your comments. I feel your love, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Your thoughts and feedback inspire me to create even more powerful stories. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. More shocking twists, emotional journeys, and real-life lessons are on the way, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Together, we're building an incredible community, and I'm so grateful to have you on this journey with me. Stay strong, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes life's greatest lessons come from the most unexpected moments. See you in the next story.